You can give other people energy and influence them in a positive way through the energy that you created for them. You do this first by effectively controlling energy yourself. I'm sure you heard of the law of conservation of energy. That energy is neither created nor destroyed, it simply changes forms. And one thing I love about laws and principles is that they always work, no matter who applies them. For example, another law is the law of entropy. Things tend to disorder. And I heard someone say like this: all progress requires attention, but progression only requires neglect. And that if I want to get better at an area of life, I have to put in intentional effort, deliberate practice into that area I want to improve. But if I want to get worse, all that's required is neglect, because entropy comes in and naturally makes me worse in that area. That's a law, that's a principle that's always going to come to pass. In the same way, the law of conservation of energy is always going to be a reality. We're never going to be able to create more energy for ourselves. However, in the introduction, I said we could create more energy and use that to become more influential. And I'm right, but in this way. See, we can't create more energy, but what we can do is effectively use the energy that we have. And when we do that, we'll become more energetic. And by being more energetic, we'll have a better mindset that other people can adopt. And by adopting that mindset, they also can have more energy. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So how do we do this? Well, the first step is to develop a good attitude. I define attitude as how you think and how those thoughts shape your behaviors. So your behaviors are constantly being shaped by what we're thinking about. Better thoughts, better behaviors. Worse thoughts, worse and more inconsistent behaviors. And the thing about behaviors is that behaviors practiced over time then form your habits. And your habits program your mind to consistently do those actions. So when I have a bad attitude, over time, I'm going to develop bad habits over time, which then programs my mind to consistently perform under my potential. And that's exactly what a mindset is. A mindset is a way of thinking over time. See, your attitude is how you respond in a moment. It's what I think about in the moment, and that shapes my behaviors in that moment. But my mindset is my attitude over time, how I choose to respond to what happens to me over a period of time. So how is this played out in real life? Well, recently, multiple times on my YouTube videos, I've been called Steve from Minecraft. Like, apparently I look like the Minecraft character Steve, right? So when someone calls you out like that, what that does is it produces an emotional response within you. An emotion is an automatic reaction to what happens to you, right? So an emotion I may get is like anger or frustration, or if it's good that I was called Steve, maybe I'm happy. But in this case, let's say I'm angry and frustrated, right? That's the emotion that comes. Well, an emotion then dictates your feelings. So a feeling is your awareness of your emotion. So when I have the emotion of anger and I become aware of that, I'm like, yo, I feel angry. Or I'm resentful, yo, I feel resentful when I become aware of that emotion. See, feelings in of itself is not bad. Having the feeling of anger or resentment is not bad. But what is bad is how you choose to respond to those feelings if you respond in a poor way. As the Bible tells us, be angry and sin not. Like, the feeling of anger is not bad, but if you respond in a way that is sin, that is bad. So how can we have a better response? Well, we do it by having more energy. Energy is how you choose to respond to what happens to you, how you choose to respond to the feelings that you have. See, a lot of people think their lives are like determined by how they feel, how much energy they have. Like, if they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, they feel tired and I don't want to go to work today, have a complaining mindset, they have low energy, they think they have to now respond in a bad way. They think they now have to have a bad mood. But the reality is, your mood is more determined by who you are than how you feel. See, if I have a positive attitude and that attitude over time created a positive mindset, I'm going to be a positive person. So even if I feel tired, even if I have low energy and my circumstances are bad, because I've become a positive person, I'm now more likely to be in a good mood because it's a product of who I am. At the same exact time, if I had a negative attitude and over time that has shaped my habits to think in a negative way, develop a negative mindset, well, I become a negative person and now I'm more likely to be in a bad mood. I'm going to respond in poor ways to feelings and emotions that I have because my mood is now a product of the bad person or negative person I have become. But regardless of the person you become, whether positive or negative, you can choose to have high energy. You can choose to respond to your mood in a good way. And by responding in a good way, you're actually going to be more likely to have a good mood. For example, last summer, I was at my job at QuickChek gas station, and one reason I like this job is because I can work very early in the morning since it's open 24/7, right? So during the summer, I would wake up 3-something o'clock and go to my shift, right? So over time, I became pretty tired after doing this day after day after day, as you would imagine, waking up at 3 o'clock, getting like 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours. Anyway, so I had a shift once last summer where I was just dead tired. I did not feel good. I was just having low energy. And I allowed that energy to dictate my mood so that I was in a bad mood. Usually I'm an outgoing person. People love or like or enjoy working with me because of my personality, because who I am. But that day they did not like to, right? Because I just had low energy. But that day, I doubt anyone enjoyed working with me because I just simply had a bad mood due to me having low energy and responding in a poor way. So midway through my shift, I was cleaning dishes when my manager came in. He's like, "Yo, Austin, what's up, man? Like, you good?" Because I was just acting so inconsistent to the person I become, an outgoing person. And I told him, "Oh, I'll fix it." Because I knew exactly what the problem was. And the problem was I allowed my energy to dictate my mood. I allowed the fact that I was tired to dictate how I responded to what happened to me. And that made me less influential on other people, to where I was less enjoyable to be around, to the point where my manager had to come in and say, "Yo, you good? What's up, man?" And after telling my manager how I changed my mood, I did. Because you can determine what mood you're in by responding with energy. And the thing is, as I responded with more energy, I had more energy, right? Because when you respond with energy, you actually produce more energy for yourself, but you're not actually producing energy. What you're doing is using energy more effectively. See, when I was in a bad mood, my energy was directed towards a bad attitude, towards bad behaviors. And as I reinforced those behaviors, I was wasting energy. However, when I changed my mood and decided to have just better attitude, now my brain is using energy towards what is good and profitable, and it reinforces those actions, making me have more energy to do those behaviors because I'm wasting less energy on thoughts and actions and behaviors that are not aligned with the person I become. In other words, by changing my attitude and having a good attitude, I displayed more positive behaviors. And those behaviors gave me more energy because my brain, my mind was focused on doing those behaviors well. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. So more energy was going towards doing those behaviors, which made them easier to do because I had more energy. Now the question for this video is, how can you get other people to also have that energy? And the answer is found again in your attitude. So your attitudes are contagious. Someone with a positive attitude is going to display positive behaviors, making it more likely for the people around them to also have those positive behaviors because their attitude is being spread to the other person. But how do we get here? How is our attitude so contagious? And I believe the answer is found in definition itself. As I find attitude as how we think and how those thoughts shape our behaviors is found in how we think. Like when I think positive thoughts, I'll have more positive behaviors. And for example, if I'm positive, so I'm joyful and I'm thankful and I'm forgiving and I'm showing those good behaviors, I'm now going to get good results from my behaviors. And as people see those behaviors lived out in the results that we get from them, they're going to want to adopt our same mindset, our same way of thinking. And by adopting that same mindset, they're going to learn to respond in a positive way. They're going to learn to respond with energy. And by responding with energy, they're now going to display positive behaviors, have their mind and brain focus on doing those positive behaviors again and again. And as they focus on that, their energy goes towards that, to where now they have more energy to do those types of behaviors. And by doing those types of behaviors, they're going to get better results because of our influence on them. And all this goes back to why it's so important to become more. When we become a positive person or become a person of a good attitude, that's going to shape our moods. It's going to shape how we respond. It's going to shape our energy, make it more likely that we respond in a positive way and display good behaviors and have a lot of energy. So how exactly do we become more? Well, we do it by having a mindset shift, a change in the way we think. See, if we consistently have, once again, a good attitude, that's going to develop better habits and program our mind to consistently act in that way and develop that type of mindset. But how can we consistently have that good attitude? And I like telling people it's through this process called ACT, ACT. and I heard this from my pastor. And the first step to act is to become aware. Become aware of what you're thinking about. For example, if after someone calls me Steve from Minecraft and I get an emotional response of anger or frustration, I don't actually get that response, but anger or frustration, well, that's going to produce thoughts within me of anger and frustration. Like, man, I want to delete this comment, or man, I want to fire back at this guy, right? Well, the first step is become aware of those thoughts. Just notice what you're thinking about. And the second step to act is capture. Capture those thoughts and examine them. See if they're thoughts that align with the person you want to become. Do I want to become someone who's angry and frustrated and gets mad at other people for what they say about me? Well, no, right? If that's the case, then I do the third step, which is T, trade. Trade out my thoughts for better thoughts. So instead of feeling angry and frustrated and having thoughts of, hey, I just want to get this guy back, well, now I trade those thoughts out for, hey, I forgive this guy. Hey, being called Steve from Minecraft is actually kind of funny, right? Those thoughts are more aligned with the person I want to become. And by consistently doing the act process, we can develop a better mindset because we maintain better thoughts. And once again, by developing a better mindset, we can have more consistent positive behaviors. And those behaviors will help us to become more energetic because our brain and our mind will focus on doing those behaviors, put energy towards doing those behaviors. And as we do those behaviors, other people will be influenced by them when they see the great results we get from those behaviors. They want to adopt our way of thinking. And when they adopt our way of thinking, they're also going to do those behaviors, which gives them more energy because their brain and their mind we focus on living those behaviors out. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. This actually comes from my second book that I'm writing about influence. My first book is called Controlling the Controllables, How Anyone Can Become Influential. And in that book, I lay out some of the principles of becoming influential, which as we learned from today, principles always work, they never lie. So all the principles I wrote in that book is going to work. And I wrote 5 principles, 5 things you need to do to become an influential leader. The first step is take full responsibility for your life. The second step is to serve other people. The third step is to lead by example. The fourth step is to have effective communication. And the fifth step is to control your mind, which is also the theme of my next book, Controlling Your Mind, How That Can Help You Become Influential, which is where I got this video from. And if you want to read that first book, DM me on Instagram at Alston, ALSTON _inspiration.daily. And I'll send you a PDF copy of the book, or you can check it out on Amazon, and I would appreciate it if you did. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Leave any comments. I want to get better at YouTube, so if I can get better anyway, let me know. And I thank you guys for watching this video, and appreciate you.